Thanking you. Mm-hmm. What happened to my glasses now?
Welcome, welcome, I'm glad you're here with me. Did you know you're one with God for eternity? Welcome, welcome, I'm glad you're here with me. You're not a stranger anymore, now you're family. Welcome, welcome, I'm glad you're here with me. Did you know you're one with God for eternity? Welcome, welcome, I'm glad you're here with me. You're not a stranger anymore, now you're family. You're not a stranger anymore, now you're family. You're not a stranger anymore, now you're family. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome to the Arctic. So if you would please stand, we're singing our congregational, wonderful, wonderful, fortunate you. And I would like to hear, make a joyful noise in the house of the Lord. Wonderful, wonderful, fortunate you. This is the year that your dreams come true. This is the year that your ships come in. This is the year you find Christ within. This is the year you will be glad to live. This is the year you have much to give. This is the year when you know the truth. This is the year when you find new youth. This is the year that will bring happiness. This is the year you will live to bless. Wonderful, wonderful, fortunate you. This is the year that your dreams come true. Wonderful, wonderful, fortunate you. This is the year that your dreams come true.
Good morning. Everybody feel nice and warm? We'd like to welcome everyone here to Unity Spiritual Center of Vero Beach, where our mission is teaching, loving, and inspiring people to be all that they were created to be. We especially like to welcome anyone who is new here, and I know there was a few people out in the lobby this morning, and for those of you at home as well. We do have some announcements. This one is very exciting. Our Welcome Sunday for Reverend Clive Delaporte is February 27th. And we have planned our Strawberry Festival to be the same Sunday. Isn't he lucky? Salad and bread, strawberry shortcake with real whipped cream will be served following Reverend Clive's first Sunday service. And gluten-free is an option. Tickets are only $10, and they'll be on sale today at the back of the sanctuary following the service. And there are sign-up sheets there because I know you all want to help in some way, so you can sign up for that. The Suzanne Giesman event is completely sold out for next Saturday. And if you have signed up and you'd like to eat on the campus, please order your lunch as soon as possible. And you will pay for that when you register on the 5th. Tickets for Joseph Labruto for his event in March are still available, and you can go to our website for more information. And we just would like to repeat one time again, and I'm sure you're going to hear it again, from our green team, avoid styrofoam. It does not disintegrate. It lasts forever, and we do not want it. And it is now my pleasure to introduce today's guest. Reverend Dieter Randolph is a third-generation minister. He's a writer, a coach, a teacher, and a podcaster. He builds websites, worked in a record store. Record store? You can't be that old to have been in a record store.
You're very kind.
And he sold used cars. Marty, talk to him later. He is on fire to find ways to take the spiritual experience beyond the traditional church setting. With that idea in mind, he's spoken and taught in countless venues and formats all over the country. He says, "Wherever I find myself, people find me." He is here to help us find a life that we love, one that feeds us instead of making us feel tired. We're all in this together. When you win, so does the world. And his lovely wife, Jenny, is here with us this morning as well. And I discovered in our conversation earlier that they have two very adult children, which I find very hard to believe, one of which just recently got married. So I'm sure that was a wonderful experience. So please welcome Reverend Dieter Randolph.
Thank you very much, and good morning. It's so wonderful to be here with you this morning. Let's begin our service with an opening prayer. Infinite Lord, we give thanks for this way and this truth and this life. We give thanks for all of the different roads that we have taken to be here together. No matter how bumpy or smooth or curvy or straight, they've brought us to right here. And right here and right now is a moment of decision, a moment of empowerment, a moment for new beginnings. And so in your name, in the name and nature of love itself, we give thanks for this day that we have enjoyed, that we have given thanks for, that we have celebrated over and over again. In your name, amen. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Beverly Feldhausen, and I'm your prayer chaplain for this morning. So I'll be sitting right over there after the service, and if anyone wants private prayer, I'll be there to pray with you. I'll read the daily word right now. The title today is World Peace, and the statement is, I envision all people living in harmony. And now repeat with me, I envision all people living in harmony. Sometimes I wonder about my place in a world that is changing so rapidly. I realize that many of the world's people may be wondering the same thing. Change can feel scary, especially when I feel as though I have to navigate a shifting landscape alone. I expand my awareness and wonder whether others feel the way I do. Feeling fearful or insecure can overwhelm feelings of peace. As peace seems further and further away, it's easy to drift into isolation and discord. I pray, reclaiming peace by feeling my divine identity as a child of God. I remember that all people share this divine identity. I include all the world's people in my prayer, envisioning us coming together in harmony to create a peaceful world. The scripture is from Hebrews 12:14. Pursue peace with everyone and the holiness without which no one will see the Lord.
It's called Joining Together. I picked this song that was written more than 35 years ago by a traditional Christian, a Buddhist, and a New Thought Christian all wrapped into one. The guy's name, Stephen Michael Camp, who left us way too early. He penned this song, and it's one of my favorite songs because it's about joining, it's about unity. And with all the divisions that have been going on in the last couple of years, which are, by the way, by design, it's called divide and conquer. What our job is, we need to come together and hold the energy, joining together. We're singing together the song of world love. We're singing together the song of world love. We're singing together a song of world love. Our voices are joining on the wings of a dove. We're standing together, arm in arm. We're standing together, arm in arm. We're standing together, arm in arm. We're helping each other feel the love in our heart. We're joining together, together as one. We're joining together, together as one. We're joining together, together as one. With a light that shines brighter than a million suns. Our hearts are open, they shine in the night. Our hearts are open, they shine in the night. Our hearts are open, they shine in the night. We're bathing the planet in our loving light. We're bathing the planet in our loving light.
Of meditation, let's get centered and still where we're sitting. Close our outer eyes and open our minds and open our hearts to the truth of this moment. Just as we place aside anything that might distract, allow ourselves to truly be in this moment. In exactly the same way, we set aside any thoughts, any feelings that might distract from our true purpose here in this holy place. Just as a child sets aside old clothing that they've outgrown, I can set aside the old ideas that don't fit, that don't suit me anymore. I am more now than I have ever been before. Because right here and right now, I know a little bit more about who I truly am, about the image and the likeness that I am. I let myself be. I let myself be. I set aside the old fears because they don't fit me anymore, and they're not appropriate for this holy place. God is love, and love casts out fear. I set aside the old doubts because God is light and illumination. There is no need for me to be sick or hurt or afraid because God cannot be sick or hurt or afraid. I manifest my real self through this body, through this moment, through this life, right now. God is and I am. I stand on holy ground. Right here and right now, there is truth. Right here and right now, there is freedom. Right here and right now, there is life. This is who I am. I am ready. From now on, I speak the truth. From now on, I choose freedom. From now on, this is my life. The unstoppable love of God prepares the way. I am ready. And in this moment of readiness, I think about those people who've been on my mind, those names I know, and perhaps those names that only God knows. And to each one, I say, I no longer see you limited in any way. I no longer see you held back, because I know who you are now. I see you as God sees you, unlimited and holy and free. I let you go. And in so doing, I give myself room to grow. I manifest my real self through this body now. I manifest my real self through this body now. Let's say that together. I manifest my real self through this body now. And let that truth be true in the silence. In that holy silence, that same silence from which the universe was born, I let a new life for me start. Right here and right now, I choose. God, I give thanks. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm ready for change. I'm ready for growth. I'm ready. Now and always. Amen. And so it is.
I wrote this song a few years ago. The song is all about gratitude, which incidentally is also the title of the song. Everything that we do in our lives is affected by the attitude that we have. And we can make changes in the outcome of our various situations that we encounter in life by the expression that we choose. And if we choose gratitude, miraculous things can happen. So here is gratitude. Gratitude is the attitude which is the way to go. This attitude, it brings to life all the seeds we sow. It manifests our deepest thoughts and that which we believe. It brings us joy and happiness. We live our lives in peace. We live our lives in peace. Gratitude is the attitude for the seeds we sow. This gratitude, it nourishes and it makes them grow. It shines its light into our hearts and brightens our day. It takes away our fears and doubts, and that is why we say that gratitude is the attitude which will make us grow. This gratitude creates a world in which we all will know that giving thanks for what we have and all we truly are provides us with abundant lives. Our hearts and minds will soar. Our hearts and minds will soar. Gratitude is the attitude in which we all do know that in gratitude we open up and we are in the flow of all good things that come our way. We receive the best for our highest good and greatest joy. Our lives are truly blessed. We are truly blessed.
Thank you.
So, I have been a minister for almost 30 years. And my parents are ministers. And my grandparents, my mom's folks, they're ministers. It's kind of the family business. Mm-hmm. And as someone who's been in this life for as long as I have to tell you that I have been to and conducted and been a part of and been around, I don't know, maybe hundreds of funerals. I mean, think about it. It's part of the deal. And I have to say, it's not something I look forward to. That's a little bit creepy to say you look forward to a funeral. That's not it. But I am honored by that experience, by being a part of that rite of passage. There's something really beautiful, really powerful, really special about being there for that. And I got to tell you, it's really an interesting thing because when you do a funeral, you know, maybe like 10% of the people who are there, they know you, they're from that church, that kind of a thing. Most of the people are friends and family. They don't go to that church. They don't know who you are. So it's an interesting moment. Because the thing is that every single person at a funeral has some kind of a connection moment, some kind of an insight, some kind of a, wait a minute, I think this is how life in the universe and everything works. Because you can't help it. You're there looking at the next thing. And even if you don't believe in a next thing, even if this is it and this is where we hit the brakes and all that, that's still a pretty big thing to think about, right? So one way or the other, just about everybody at a situation like that has some kind of a moment. But the funny thing about being at a funeral is you can't tell the person next to you about your moment. You can't say, oh, look, stop crying. Let me tell you about this thing that I just figured out about how everything works. That's weird. You can't do that. And so what I have found, and part of the honor of being part of that experience is that while you can't talk to the person next to you, you can talk to the weird guy at the front of the room who just did the service. Because you probably don't know him. And so, as a result, in all of the years that I've been a part of this, I have heard everything. People have had amazing questions and insights that they just got to tell somebody, and that's so beautiful. I've also heard some really fantastic dirty jokes that I will not share with you, and everything in between. And like I said, over all of the years that I have done this, I have heard everything. But I'll tell you, there is one thing that I have never heard. In all my years of doing this, I have never gotten to the end of a memorial service and heard somebody say, you know, that was really beautiful, good insights, good prayers, good everything, but I wish you would have said more about their credit score. I have never heard anybody say, I wish I could have learned more about the data. What about height, weight, vital statistics? What about zip code? Can we talk property values here? In all of my years of doing this, no one has ever asked me about the data. And we laugh when we think about that because we know intuitively that the data doesn't matter. The numbers don't matter, do they? And yet, it's interesting that so many people spend so much time chasing the numbers. If only I could lose a few more pounds. If only I could make a few more dollars. If only I could move to that prosperous zip code. If only I could get a few more likes on my Instagram picture of nachos. Whatever it is. If only I can make those numbers move just a little bit. So many people spend so much time chasing a thing that we know doesn't matter. And what I have discovered is that life is a kind of a you are what you eat kind of a thing. And what I mean by that is if you chase things that are meaningless, you will end up feeling meaningless too. It's an interesting thing. And I mean, I get it. We're trained for it. You know what I mean? I mean, we're marketed to that kind of an idea. We tell little kids, you better hurry up and figure out what you're going to be because, you know, you're 7 and this is the time for that. And if you can make yourself miserable enough, maybe you'll get into a better school. And if you can make yourself really miserable in that school, you'll get a job that you don't really like. But if you can make yourself miserable at that job long enough, you'll get promoted to a real position of misery. And if you can get to that place, maybe you'll retire. Forever. We turn on the television and we're marketed to the idea is, oh, you have a 3-blade razor, you need a 5-blade razor. If you have a 5-blade razor, you need a 7-blade razor. You need a 150-blade razor as soon as you can or you're doing it wrong. We are marketed to this idea that we're supposed to chase the numbers, that we're supposed to move that needle somehow, and we'll somehow get to that magic number where everything's going to be okay. And to my knowledge, it has never worked that way. Have you experienced that? Most people haven't. Some people blame church. I get it. People say, well, you know, I used to go to that church where I spent all of that time saying, you know, someday if I can make myself miserable enough, I get to go see God. If I can just really clobber myself. And hopefully if I do it right, make other people miserable too, because, you know, that's in the Bible. I can do that long enough. And people go, well, I don't go to that church anymore. And I get it. Because the point of that was never to make yourself feel bad. The point of that was never to chase the numbers. We know that. And yet, I've also talked to a lot of people who go to more progressive, let's say, churches, but I've heard the same people say, you know, if I can just get my affirmations right, I can manifest a new Buick. And like that's the end-all, be-all of the whole thing. And I have to say, that sounds exactly like that quote-unquote old church with just different nouns. And here's the thing I want to tell you today, guys. If you want your life to change, it's got to be about something more than just moving the nouns around. Ask yourself, of the things you've tried, of the diets you've been on, the churches you've been to, the relationships you've been in, you name it. Am I just moving nouns around? Is this really the same thing? A lot of people come to Florida. In fact, almost no one is from here. A lot of people come to Florida and they say, you know, I thought it would be different when I moved here. But it's the same job, just different boss. It's the same relationship, just different boyfriend. It's the same blah, 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 because you're still you. Jimmy Buffett was wrong. Changes in latitudes do not change attitudes. Sorry. Break it to you. I have to do more than move nouns around. It's like an extra medium t-shirt. They make extra large. They make extra small. They make extra large. They make extra small. They make microscopic, whatever, but they don't make extra medium. And you know why? Because you can't get more medium than medium. It doesn't work that way. And yet, every time we try to change something by not really changing anything, when we leap into mediocrity, when we think an extra bladed razor or a couple of more dollars or moving to a different place is going to change anything, that, my friends, is an extra medium t-shirt. Let's be the kind of people who examine our relationships and our jobs and our situations and our church and everything else and go, wait a minute, is this an extra medium t-shirt? If your life doesn't fit, that's why. You're trying to cram into something that is not the right size for you. What I propose is that for things to be different, we have to really do something different. Eric Butterworth, the great Unity minister, said you can't solve a problem on the same level of consciousness that created it. Pretty good. My wife and I live in St. Petersburg, Florida, and almost every morning we go walk by the water. It's awesome. We see seagulls, and we see dolphins, and we see tourists, and we see all kinds of stuff. And I remember this one time I was walking with Jenny, and I saw this bird come flying down out of the sky and go into the water and grab a fish and fly away with it. It was a very Discovery Channel moment. And I thought, there's a spiritual lesson in that. And the lesson is the bird doesn't deal with the fish in the water. The bird changes the context. Sometimes I think people try to solve problems by getting down to the level of the problem instead of changing things. I don't know how much mythology you remember from high school or whatever, but remember Hercules, kind of a Lou Ferrigno type, walked around beating people up? Could have said Schwarzenegger, that probably would have been a better poll. But anyway, Hercules went around beating people up as kind of his claim to fame. And then one time he went to go fight this guy named Antaeus. Remember this from high school, Antaeus? Hercules went to wrestle Antaeus, and he couldn't beat him. Now, Hercules, he can beat anybody, but he couldn't beat Antaeus because Antaeus' mother was Gaia, the mother of the planet, the earth. And the thing is, every time Hercules would pick Antaeus up and throw him down, he'd connect with his mama, and I guess she loved him like a rock, and he got stronger. Paul Simon, everybody. Every time Hercules would pick him up, he'd throw him down and get stronger. Every time Hercules pick him up, he'd throw him down and get stronger. Every time Hercules pick him up, he'd throw him down and get stronger. So things just kept getting worse until Hercules realized who he was dealing with. Wait, his mom is the earth. I guess he resembled Europe or something. There's a family resemblance. But Hercules realized what he was doing, and he realized that he had to change things. And so he just picked Antaeus up, and he held him. And Antaeus went to sleep, and Hercules won the fight. Now, I tell you that story to remind you that it could very well be that if you've been wrestling with the same problem over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, if you've been chewing on the same thing, maybe with different faces, maybe with different nouns, maybe it's time to just pick it up and hold it for a second, to change the context, to do something different. You know what happens if you repeat the same thing over and over again and try to expect different results. You've heard that. You've seen the posters. So here's the different thing that I want to propose to you today. Are you ready? This is the deal. This is your homework, if you will. Bless you. I'm in a good position to bless you. I went to seminary. Here's the different thing. I want you to embrace the pointless. Embrace the pointless. This is the thing that will change your life. Embrace the pointless. So many times we're told, well, what's the point of this? What's the profit in this? How are you going to benefit your income from this thing? Enough. Because the truth is that everything that is truly important has no point. What is the point of art? What is the point of truth or beauty? What is the point of love? All of the things that are noblest in the human spirit and truest about you and I, they don't have an external reward. They have an internal reward. They got no point. There's no point to love, and yet it's the best thing there is. So maybe if I want to fix my life, I need to stop trying to make it be about something, and I need to just let it be. Embrace the pointless. Now, that's a big deal because so many people come to me and they say, well, I hear you're a minister because I saw the thing, and I wish you could tell me more about the Bible because it seems to me that the Bible is so hard to deal with. I wish the Bible would just come to the point. Fair. I get it. I wish the Bible was more like stereo instructions, because, those are clear. And I wish it would just tell me what to do. And I get that. And what I will say to those people is what I will say to you right now. There are lots of places in the Bible that are very clear. Do this and go here, and this is the thing. And yet those are the places that are the hardest to deal with. Those are the places that have not stood the test of time very well. Those are the places that are the most brittle, the places that we got to argue about. Whether or not you should grow a beard, whether or not you can go to Red Lobster, whether or not this person can marry that person. Those are the things that are the hardest to deal with. The places that seem straightforward are the places that are not straightforward at all. Maybe it's not about the point. When I say that, some people say, yeah, but what about the golden rule? I mean, that's just as clear as it can be, right? That's the deal. Remember the golden rule? You went to Sunday school, right? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That one, that golden rule. He'll say, see, clear, straightforward, has a point, like it. Put it on a Facebook post. And yet, it's not clear at all. Do unto others as I would have them do unto me. What if I'm hungry and they're on a diet? What if I want to talk about the weather and they have taken a vow of silence? What if I want this and they don't? Do unto others can be something I can use to clobber somebody with something that they didn't want in the first place, but I want it, so therefore you want it. When I was little, I had to put on a coat when my mom was cold. That ain't the golden rule. The beauty of the golden rule is not that it is straightforward. The beauty of the golden rule is that it causes me to look past the nouns and into something deeper. To look past the nouns and into the verbs. You want to change your life? Verbs, not nouns. Ask yourself. Am I sharing with the people who love me my verbs or my nouns? I've done a lot of marriage counseling, and one of the common things that people come to me and say is, I've given all my nouns, I pay the rent, I buy flowers, how come no love? Are you sharing your verbs? Love doesn't happen because flowers. It doesn't work that way. Look at this place that you have built. It's beautiful. It is a holy place. But it is not a holy place because somebody went to Holy Home Depot and got consecrated drywall. It doesn't work that way, does it? There ain't no holy construction materials. It doesn't work that way. This place is holy because we have come together with intention, with focus, with action, with passion, with a desire to just hold it together and make it happen. The fact that this is a church is not because of the building. Church doesn't happen because building. Church happens to a building. Love doesn't happen because flowers. Flowers are a byproduct. It's the other way around. And in fact, everything is like that. What comes first for you? Nouns or verbs? Think about it for a minute. Ask yourself, what comes first for me? Am I chasing the nouns? Remember when you were a kid and you learned about fire? You know, people said, well, for fire to happen, we're going to get sciencey here for a second. For fire to happen, you need oxygen, remember this? And you need fuel like wood or something, and you need heat. And it's not like you need oxygen and then you put it away, you need wood and then you put it away, and you need heat and then you put it away. You need all of them all at the same time. It's magical, and if you want a fire to go out, take one of those things away, right? Remember this? When you think about it, fire is not a thing. It's not a noun. It's an event. Fire happens to wood. Fire doesn't happen because of wood. Fire is an event. And I'm not telling you this to get you ready for your Weebelo Jamboree or whatever. I'm telling you this because I want you to think about yourself in the same way. You are not a thing. You are not you because of the house you live in or the clothes you wear or the job you have or the money that you have or don't have or the people who pay attention to you. You are not a thing. You are not a byproduct. You are an event. And in the same way that you need all those things to happen to make fire, yes, there are things that have happened in your life that are not fun to think about. There are things that have happened in your life that have made the road to get here bumpy. I know. I'm sorry for that. But I'm also not sorry for that because they have brought you to now. And now is okay. Because now you can decide what happens next. You are not a thing. You are an event. You are less like a rock and more like a rock concert. Think of yourself that way and things will change for you. But one of the things that's going to change for you is you're going to have to start praying about different things. Do you pray for nouns or do you pray for verbs? Remember, Jesus said, don't worry about things, guys. God's got things handled. And yet, so many people spend so much time saying, God, if you please get me a new bike. I still pray like I'm 8 years old, apparently. But you know what I mean. Fill in the blanks. That new thing, if you could just make me better by the new car, the new house, the bigger hair, the whatever it is, you know. You know that story of Solomon, the richest guy in the Bible. I'll tell you the short version. God says to Solomon, you can have anything you want. It's kind of a pick behind door number 1, door number 2, door number 3 kind of a moment. And Solomon says, I just want an understanding heart. Remember that part? Just grant me an understanding heart. I just want to know it when I see it. That's all I want. And as a result of that, as a result of Solomon being in touch with cause instead of in touch with byproducts, all the other stuff worked out too. Rich guy. Stop praying for God to change your nouns and start praying for God to change your verbs, and things will change for you. I think perhaps the noblest prayer of all is, God, may I know it when I see it. Because if God is everywhere, maybe my job is to stop trying to make things come into my life. God's already here. God, may I know it when I see it. God, may open my heart. That's the Solomon prayer, and that is the one that changes things. People come to me sometimes and they say, I can't make affirmations work. Am I broken? Maybe they say it differently, but they say stuff like that. I've memorized all the affirmations. I know the stuff. I sleep with a copy of The Secret under my pillow, but that's a secret. And it's that kind of stuff. I've read all of the books. I know all of the affirmations, and yet my life has not changed one bit. What am I doing wrong? And in fact, sometimes people feel bashful about it because everybody else is doing these affirmations, and I'm doing them. My life doesn't work. I don't want to tell anybody. So I recognize that it takes a little bit of moxie to just come to me and ask me about this. So thanks for asking. Here's the thing about affirmations. Are you ready for this? This is a big deal. The universe does not speak English. The universe speaks intention. The universe does not speak English. The universe speaks intention. It doesn't matter how big your words are. If they don't feel true for you, ain't nothing going to happen. It's not like you're trying to guess the password to God's treehouse or something. If I say, I am the most loved child of God on the planet, and I am a multi-billionaire, and everything is working out for me, but I don't feel loved, and I don't feel rich, and I don't feel like anything's working for me, I feel like a liar. And the universe don't speak English, and so if what I'm putting out there is I'm not really being honest about this, what am I going to get back? How's this going to work? The universe does not speak English. So your job and my job, our job, if we're going to have this thing work for us, is find what feels true to you. Maybe you're not ready to say, I feel like everybody loves me all the time. I get it. You'll get there. But what if right now it's, God, I know I have love in my heart because I feel it when it ain't there. I know I have room for this. Maybe I'm not a multi-billionaire, but daily bread. Start where you start. Because look, I don't know how this all ends because I don't think anything ends. Maybe you don't have what you need to get to whatever finish line it is that you're shooting for. But I can guarantee you that you have what you need to start. That's the prayer. Affirm that. So that's the test. What feels true to me right now? In fact, that's a test for everything. This relationship, this job, this church, this situation. Does this feel like the truth? If it is, do it. If not, quit it. That's all. That will get you through a lot of things. But sometimes people say, I don't know about that. I'm not even ready for that because I'm not sure if I'm always in touch with what is true. Okay, fair enough. So let me say this differently. Here's how you can tell what's important, what you should follow, what you should spend your time with. If when you give it, you get more, it's important. If when you give it, you get less, it's not important. Think about it. If I give money, I run out of money, I have less in my bank account, that must not be very important. It's not. but the things that are best and truest and noblest in the human spirit and closest to our image and likenessness, love, truth, beauty, art, friendship, happiness, inspiration, when you give them, you get more. It's like a magic penny. Those are the things to spend your time on. Do that test of the things that you spend your 24 hours on. If I give this, do I get more or do I get less? And follow that breeder-reactor quality of life into something that will make you better and bigger and more able to make the world a place that works for everybody. If I give it, do I get more? And people go, well, I don't know how to even deal with that. But I want you to know that you are already good at it. If you give friendship, do you get more friendship? This means yes. And people go, yeah, well, I'm not good at that because adults aren't very good at friendship. If you see somebody from work in the grocery store, you don't know how to deal with them because they're in the wrong place. Like God ran out of extras in the movie of your life or something. But you were good at that. Remember how good you were at friendship when you were a little kid? You got a red shirt? I got a red shirt. Best friends. You like Spider-Man? I like Spider-Man. Best friends. You like the swings? I love the swings. Best friends. Easy. You were good at this. You were good at giving to what increases. Find that. Get good at it again. It will change everything, I promise. One day when I was a little kid, a very long time ago, I was walking with my friends Joshua and Joey. And we had just discovered the step on a crack, break your mother's back thing. That's deep knowledge right there. That's a big deal. And you know, for most normal kids, it's just fun. Don't step on the crack, watch where you walk, and all that kind of stuff. I was a little bit weird, a little bit neurotic, and it freaked me out. I don't want to step on cracks. I mean, the Freudian implications notwithstanding, I don't want to hurt my mom, but I don't want to hurt anybody. It was weird. But you know, we were having fun, not stepping on the cracks in the sidewalk. And then Joey said to Joshua and I something really profound. And see, Joey always said things that were profound. He was a year older than us, and he was allowed to watch Dukes of Hazzard, so, you know, worldly. And he said, you know, I bet if you looked at this concrete in a microscope, yeah, I know, right? If you looked at this concrete in a microscope, you would see millions and billions of little cracks. There's cracks everywhere. You can't help but step on a crack. Isn't that interesting? And my friend Joshua, who was my age, thought that was interesting, and I freaked out. I didn't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't want to hurt my mom, but also, what's holding it all together? What's keeping my school, my church, my world from just crumbling down? What's keeping me from falling down to the center of the earth where there's dinosaurs and James Mason or whatever? What's going to happen? I didn't know what to do. It was a big deal for weird little neurotic me. But then Joshua spoke up. And he said, you know, I bet if you look at this concrete through a microscope, you'll also see millions of places, billions of places, trillions of places where it's all stuck together, kind of like a spider web. I'm just going to step on those places. And Joshua walked forward, and we walked after him. And I tell you that story to remind you that that childhood choice is the same one that you have now. Where will you step? Where will you place your weight? On the things that set us apart or on the things that bring us together? It's your choice. But that choice changes the world that we share. A lot of people spend a lot of time chasing the numbers, chasing the things that set us apart, trying to earn their right to be. But I want you to know that this life, the love of God, is unearned and unchaseable because it's already here. You don't have to earn this any more than you have to earn gravity or thermodynamics or sunshine. It just is. So instead of having things happen to you, instead of having your life happen to you, I want you to start happening to your life. Just be like love, like sunshine. Just be like friendship and truth. Just be. Be happy and be free, because after all, freedom is a choice. Thank you.
Wow. It's going to take me a while to get through that one. That was awesome. Right now, we're getting ready for our offertory, and we want to let you know ways that you can give. And there are several. You can text the word "give" to the number 844-937-1769. You can go to unityofvero.org and click on the donate button, or you can send a check, drop off a check, and come and visit us at 950 43rd Avenue, Vero Beach, Florida, 32960. And if you would like any prayer requests, you can visit unityvero@gmail.com. So now if you would take your tithe, your offering, your gift, your intention, and hold it in your hand, and let us pray the offertory prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we say, thank you, God. And our ushers, Barb and Patty, will be collecting the offertory.
So you probably see a yawning emptiness to my left, where usually my trusted cohort stands. Well, she took some time off because she wanted to follow the lesson of this next song that I'm about to sing. So here is: if you don't stop and smell the roses, you'll push up daisies well before your time. So take a break from your daily doing and sit in peace and quiet, simply be. The lines are long at the checkout counters, the temper's short at the red light. This traffic moves slow like molasses. Why don't they see that my schedule is tight? The car needs gas, the kids are hungry, and then there's the appointment at the vet's. The grass needs mowing, it is way too tall now. The mower sits broken in the garden shed. The pace is fast, our lives are hectic. There's barely time to even take a breath. The deadline looms on the near horizon, and the result of that is nerve-damaging stress. So please do stop and smell the roses, or you'll push up daisies well before your time. Do take a break from your daily doing and sit in peace and quiet, simply be. and go inside into tranquility.
Thank you.
So what we need to do is, if you would like to stand, the next is the peace song and then the prayer for protection. So if you please join me. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Now the
And
prayer.
our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us.
The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And a special thank you again to Dieter and Jenny, and have a wonderful day and stay warm.